Okay, today we're gonna talk about chapter 13 about aggregate scheduling or planning. Here we have 3 questions all about chapter 13, and now we're gonna do it in Excel. First, question 1. We read the problem first. Here we are an operations manager in a furniture company in Jepara, Jawa Tengah, and you have received the following demand forecast for next 6 months from July to December, and each month is stated the amount of the demand, its demand, and then the production in June is 1,300 units. Okay, so we're gonna write down the information given. Okay, the production in June is 1,300 units, and then it said that the production cost is 400,000 rupiah per unit, and then the stock out cost is 1 million per unit, and the inventory carrying cost is 250,000 per unit per month. Also, there's no initial inventory and the ending inventory is set to be 0. And you are considering these 2 plans, plan A and plan B. But first we have to know the question to make it easier. Question A is evaluate the total cost of these 2 plans and which plan will you choose. Okay, first we have to calculate the plan A. The plan A is varying the workforce level for production. Okay, the cost of hiring additional worker is 3 million per 100 units produced. We're gonna write down the info given here for plan A. Okay, for hiring cost is 3 million per 100 units produced, and it said that the cost of layoff is 6 million per 100 units produced. So in plan A, we're using like chess strategy, right? Because we are varying workforce level. So basically chess strategy is, we set the production equal to forecast demand, and we use this because changing the inventory level is difficult, and we can be doing this strategy in a variety of ways, like varying the workforce like we're doing right now, and then vary output by means of overtime, idle time, part-time, or subcontracting. Okay, next, the problem said the cost is in 100 units, so we have to make it in per units produced. Okay, so for the cost per unit produced is 30,000. Okay, just divide the 3 million divided by 100 units and we get this number. And also for layoff costs, the layoff cost is 60,000 per unit produced. We get it by dividing the 6 million with 100 units. And next, we start calculating the hiring and layoff, the total of production, hiring and layoff. Okay, since we are varying the workforce level, so we have to hire or lay off. That's why we are adding the production, hiring and layoff column. These 2 column is already given, okay, from the problem, like this one. And we have to add more 3 columns, okay, production, hiring and layoff. Okay, we have to write the June, July until December. From the problem, it said that the production on June is 1,300 units. And then this is as our starting point, okay? While in July our demand is 1,000 units only. while currently we have 1,300 units, right, as our level production. And since we're using chess strategy, all the production is equal to its demand. Okay, so for July the production is equal to its demand, August is equals to its demand, and so on and so on. And then starting from July, we only have demand and we only have to produce as much as 1,000 units, while our current level production is 1,300 units, okay, from June. So our level of production is like excess, and we have to lay off to adjust it with July demand and production. So we have to lay off as much as the difference between the level production on June and level production on July, right? Next, on August, the demand is 1,200 units, and so the production. And we have to know that our current level production is only 1,000, okay, from July. So there is increasing demand from July to August, so we have to hire more units, right, to meet the demand and production on August. We have to hire as much as the difference between the demand or production on July and August, and the difference is 200. Okay, move to September. On September, we have 1,400 units as our demand and also our production. And so it means we have an increasing demand from August to September. Since it's increasing, we have to hire more units, right? We have to hire more as much as the difference between the demand or production on July and September, and it's 200. And then move to October. Here we have 1,800 units for the demand and production. So it means the demand is increasing from September to October, and we have to hire more units. We have to hire as much as the difference between September and October demand. And then November is the same with October, so we don't have to hire or lay off, since the current level production that we need is already the same like the previous one, which is October. And then for December, the demand is decreasing, okay, from 1,800 to 1,600. So since it's decreasing, we have to decrease the level of production too, and we have to lay off as much as the difference between the demand of October and December. Okay, and after we have determined the production and hiring and layoff, we have to sum all of them. Sum the demand, sum of the production, sum of the hiring and layoffs. Okay, after we have the total of each column, demand, production, hiring and layoff, we calculate the total cost. So basically how we get the total cost is by adding the production cost, hiring cost and layoff cost. Okay, so here the total production is 8,800 units, and to get the total production cost, we have to multiply it by the cost of production per unit. Okay, the production cost per unit is 400,000 per unit, so we have to multiply this cost with the total of production. Okay, and then for hiring costs, we have to multiply the total of hiring that we have in this table by the cost of hiring. We already calculated the cost for per unit produced, so we don't have to use this one, but you could use this one instead if you want it. But if you use this number, you have to multiply this number with this number and then divide it by 100, because this cost is per 100 units produced. While since we have already calculated for per unit produced, we could multiply the total of hiring with this number instead. Okay, and then last one for layoff cost, we get it by multiplied the total of layoffs here, 500 multiplied by the layoff cost per unit produced, which is 60,000. After we got all of them, we sum all of them, and then this is our total cost if we use plan A or chess strategy. And then move to plan B. We calculate for plan B, the cost for plan B. Plan B said that keep the current workforce at a level that can produce 1,300 units per month. Since we are keeping the workforce level at the same level, it means that plan B is level strategy. Okay, because level strategy, we maintain a constant output rate, production rate, or workforce level over the planning horizon. Okay, so the level of production here is 1,300 units per month, and then it said that permit a maximum overtime of 20% of normal production rate. Okay, so the maximum overtime is only 20%. 20% of 1,300 units per month. Okay, so in units it would be 260 units per month. This is the maximum overtime. And then for the overtime cost of normal production at a cost of 500,000 per unit. Okay, so for the cost of overtime is 500,000 per unit. And then the maximum on-hand inventory allowed is 180 units carryover from month to month. So the maximum inventory is only 160 units. Okay, there's the maximum inventory, and what happened if the inventory is more than 180 units, the production will be stopped and the plant is kept idle, so we're not producing any units. And if the plant is idle, there is cost. Okay, idle cost 600,000. Okay, the cost of idle machines on worker is 600,000 per unit. And then any additional requirement is subcontracted to another company at the cost of 600,000 per unit as well. Okay, now we already got the info, and then we make the table as well. For month and demand is already stated in the problem, and we add more columns for production, overtime, subcontract, idle, stock out, and inventory. Since we are using level strategy, it means the production rate from July to December is the same, and it's stated in the problem that the level is 1,300 units per month. Okay, so from July to December we produced 1,300 units, And then we have to determine the overtime, subcontract, idle, stock out, and inventory for each month. Okay, now here start from July. The demand is only 1000 while we produce as much as 1300 units. So it means the production is excess, right? We have 3,300 units left, and it becomes our inventory, the difference between the production and demand. And then next, on August, the demand is 1200 units while the production is 1300 units. But keep in mind that we have inventory 300 units, and it's more than the maximum inventory allowed, which is 180 units. And what happens if the inventory more than this number? The inventory more than 180 units, the production will be stopped and the plant idle, which is we're not producing any units. So it becomes 0, and the idle becomes 1300 units because we're not producing any units, so the production is 0, and the plant is idle as much as the number that we have supposed to produce. And then how could we fulfill the demand on August? So we could do it by using this inventory and then doing subcontract. So basically subcontract is buying from another company. Okay, as much as this number minus this number, okay, demand of August minus inventory, we have 900 units left, right, to be fulfilled, and we get it by subcontracting to another company. Okay, so the inventory is 0. And then for September, the demand is 1400 units while the production is 1300 units. So we have the production as there's shortage, right, as much as 100, and to fulfill the 100 units left, we could do it by doing overtime. And then for October, the demand is 1800 units, the production is 1300 units, and there's shortage. We have to fulfill another 500 units, right? And we could do it by doing overtime, but keep in mind that the maximum overtime is only 260 units per month. So we only could doing overtime as much as this number, the maximum overtime, and the rest of it, the remaining units that left, we could do it by subcontracting from another company. So we already produced as much as 1300 units, and then plus this number, so we currently have 1560 units. So the remaining units left is 240 units, right? So that will be the number how much we will subcontract to another company. And we have no inventory, okay, for this month. And then for November, it's the same with October actually, so we have 2 overtime, and then the remaining units we do it by subcontracting, and we have no inventory since the total of production, overtime, and subcontracting is equals to its demand. And then for December is we have 1,600 units, while the production is only 1,300 units. So we have 300 units left, okay, to fulfill the demand. And we could the 260 units we could cover it by doing overtime, and the 40 units left we could cover it by doing subcontracting. Okay, after we determine the production and then overtime, subcontract, idle, stock out, and inventory, we sum all of them, each column. Anyway, we don't have any stock out case here. Okay, we have the total of each column, and then now we could count for the total cost. So basically here we have the production, okay, production. So we will have production cost, and then we have overtime, and then there will be overtime cost, subcontracting cost, idle cost, and fortunately we don't have any stock out cost, and then inventory cost. So the total cost from production cost, overtime, subcontract, idle, stock out, and inventory. From production cost, so the total of production is 6,500 units, and we multiplied this number by the cost of production per unit, which is this number, okay, 400,000 units. Okay, and then for overtime cost, the total overtime multiplied by the overtime cost per unit, which is 500,000 per unit. And then for subcontract cost, the total of subcontract multiplied by the cost of subcontract. And then for idle cost, total of idle multiplied by the idle cost. Stock out cost, total of stock out multiplied by the stock out cost. Oh, we don't have any stock out cost here. And then last one is inventory cost. The total of inventory multiplied by the carrying cost, okay, carrying cost. And the total for using this strategy, which is a level strategy, is 4 billion, more than 4 billion. And to choose which strategy that we will choose is comparing the total cost, okay, from total cost of level strategy or plan B compared to total cost of plan A. So based on our calculation, okay, comparing with this one, the total cost, the strategy which has the lowest total cost is plan A, right? So the conclusion is we're choosing plan A as our strategy. Okay, we're done for question number 1.